getting intel on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook. That's Justin Wells. That is Coach Dub. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, go to InsideTexas.com. We've been bringing a bunch of different scoop over on Inside Texas Recruiting Scoop. New visitors being added every day, setting spring practice visits. We have those practice dates now, so we kind of know when a lot of Longhorn targets are going to be hitting the 40 acres. We have official visit dates. We've been adding more almost every day. So go check that out on Inside Texas. It's the first link in our description. It's also that QR code that you see there at the top left of the screen. You'll be able to find all the different stuff recruiting related in the 2027 class and some insight. Charlie had some good stuff today on offensive line, so it should be a lot of fun. This is a fun time of year. Getting to track down when a lot of these guys are going to be making their way to the 40 acres, seeing who the targets are being that's coalescing. I always like saying the targets are coalescing at this time of year. And we got four big ones to talk about. Two receivers. There we go. Making sure. Two receivers, an offensive lineman, and a running back. Some guys who have set some spring visit dates, and I think even some official visit dates. So a lot of fun to get going. And this is one that I think we're higher on than the networks. I think maybe Texas is higher on than the networks, and that is Bryson Thrower out of North Forney. Got to get some love to him. He is someone who has made his way to Texas. And Justin, as I get his huddle on the screen, it's a short one, but there's a lot of highlights in it. This is someone the Longhorns are really glad will be visiting the 40 acres this spring.
Yeah, this is Coach and I are going to co-pilot this one right here. Ohio State, Oklahoma, Texas A&M. Those are the three schools that you're going to have to watch against Texas, and I would take Texas versus the field right now for Thrower. I think the Horns are really high on him, and I think they've prioritized him more so in the last few months than the previous year. I think they're in such a great spot with Easton Royal that they can be a little bit picky with who the next two or three guys are going to take are, and I think it's probably going to be two more. But Charlie actually went through there recently, and our guy from Aggie Yell, I guess it's Jackson Calloway, he said Thrower looked tremendous. Charlie's got some really good intel on him as well from DFW.
Yeah, definitely. When Coach Chris Jackson came to Dallas-Fort Worth, he wanted to find out who's the toughest receiver to guard in this area. And almost every coach in DFW kept saying Bryson Thrower. He's hard to guard. He said we game plan for him when we play North Forney. I mean, he's unguardable. Sometimes we like to double team him. And teams find out quickly. If you play one man, you're probably going to get beat for a touchdown, as you see here on film. And so Thrower is a kid that, disregard his ranking, he can absolutely play receiver. And I know Texas and Coach Chris Jackson's high on him, but a number of teams are. And I think he's going to continue to grow. And I think that ranking is going to change very, very soon.
Looking at where he is according to Rivals, someone I think, like I said, a little bit underranked, but I think Rivals is a little high on him. Number 455 in the Rivals industry ranking, 6'3", 175. And Justin, we've seen Sarkisian and Chris Jackson in Texas maybe go away from guys who look like, I don't know, Jonte Cook and Jamie French and move toward guys who maybe look more like Kalik Lockett and Bryson Thrower in recent years.
I think they have a good blend and a good mixture. And Easton Royal is about 5'11", maybe 6 foot if we gave him a boost. And so I think that's your outside guy, to be totally honest with you. And I think it's a talent thing at this point. They've set the floor and ceiling with Easton Royal in this cycle. And so, like I said before, they can have some fun with it. Bryson Thrower is the kind of guy you have some fun with it. When you know that you've got some real, guys that could maybe potentially play early. Jermaine Bishop, we'd heard how he's potentially going to see the field as a freshman. You're talking about Easton Royal would do the same thing. I think that's something. Thrower is the opposite. He could be more of a developmental guy, but he's your outside receiver, Joe. Texas is looking to get the best guys. And as long as they can run and catch, I think that's the biggest thing. Thrower told us yesterday, the biggest thing about Texas is the development. It's how they send guys to the league. It's the offense that they get to play in, and it's Chris Jackson. It's all about Chris Jackson, his aura. And I think that's why, and honestly, I think Jackson started prioritizing him after Charlie went to see him. So I want to give Coach Williams some credit on that one.
I think you brought this up over on the message board the other day, and Evan actually wrote about it today with the way high school and just building the receiver position at Texas has evolved greatly in the past couple of years. Sark likes to keep 9 to 10 guys on that roster at the receiver position. 4 or so probably play. So it kind of looks like, all right, every year, 1 is going to the NFL, and then 2 may graduate, and 1 or 2 may leave. So how are you bringing in numbers to replace those guys? Sometimes it's like 3 and 2, 3 high schoolers and 2 portal guys. Sometimes it's 2 and 2, and you're looking for the types of instant impact players like Dalen McCutcheon, like Jermaine Bishop. Those guys you're looking for in your freshman class.
Yeah.
You're looking for guys who are waiting a little bit longer and who get their opportunities, like we saw Khalid Lockett get. And this, I'm not trying to downplay him because I think we're here pounding the drum that he's probably a little underrated. But, Coach, this is someone that you look at and you're like, if you're not playing year 1, that's okay because you could be great for us in year 2 or year 3.
Yeah, I think at the receiver position, especially at Texas, you can kind of wait. You can wait and bake in the oven a little bit, right? Because you only play so many kids to begin with, and the rotation's not as long as most other positions. So, if a kid wants to come in and be developed even more and play, like I think that could beat thrower, right? You come in red show, you never know how it's going to shake out. Or if you come in right away and say, hey, look, this kid gets it. One thing I'll just share with thrower, like him, McCutcheon, a lot of other guys, they all share the same trainer. Right, so they can kind of come in knowing the nuances of playing receiver. I think there's a trust factor there from Chris Jackson, knowing what type of receiver they're getting when they recruit guys. And I think it's a number of guys he's recruiting in this class. They all share the same trainer, right? And so they all look alike when they run routes. And so there's a thing there. And so I think, like I said, looking at the ranking, for me, once he blows up to these rivals and his camps right here coming up soon, I think the rankings are going to change. I think the outlook on him will change tremendously as well. But yeah, you can come to Texas, you can kind of bake in the oven a little bit because you got those older veterans guys there who've been in the system for a few years and know exactly what they're doing, and then kind of sprinkle you in as you go. And then when it's your turn to shine.
Moving from one receiver to another, we'll go to Alvin Mosley from Pearland Crawford. Again, someone who's 6'2", 185, a little bit taller from the Houston area. And this has been a player who, man, I hadn't seen that one in a while. A player who Chris Jackson's been recruiting for a while. We know he's visited Texas, I think, the last 2 summers. He's got his official – at least, yeah. He's got his official visit an official visit set up. And Justin, this is a player who, again, Chris Jackson has had a look at in-state receivers for quite some time, and this is one that's been prioritized for the Longhorns in that period.
Yeah, so where thrower is, I think, more of your stereotypical receiver, I think Mosley's your better athlete or your more twitchy athlete that needs a little bit of more long-term development in just the small nuances of route running and things of that sort. I mean, Mosley also plays a mean DB. And I think that's something that you could even have a conversation with him about. I think he loves Texas to the point he would have that conversation, but he absolutely prefers playing wide receiver. And we know Texas is high on him. Like you said, he's been to campus. I can't remember how many times they've kept that engagement, and they are clearly the better team of the teams that are recruiting him right now. He also has an official visit set for Houston. SMU's in the mix as well. He's a kid that I feel like Texas could sort of wave in at any point.
This is a little bit of an aside, but like, man, if you're a high school defensive coordinator and you know that, like, all right, there's a 4-star guy on the other side, like, what are you doing 2-man on this guy? I
asked Kilgore coaches this, what they were going to do against him, because Kilgore had to face him in the playoffs and actually beat him. And it was just keep a safety over the top at all times. And he still scored.
He still scored.
Yeah. Credit to
those DBs for Kilgore are playing in college, man. Those guys are good.
Yeah, credit to they're doing some smart stuff here with putting they're not just isolating him either. They're putting multiple guys on his side to take up the coverage.
Joe,
so it's a pretty smart stuff.
How old is this school?
It's not old. And I think that's a very interesting development because remember, Manville used to just hog everybody. Yes. And then Shadow Creek, I don't know if they're in the same school district, but they're not far from each other. Shadow Creek opens up, plays in state championship games, and has won state titles. It becomes a factory. And now I don't know. It's part of that area. They call it like Rosharon, I think.
Rosharon.
Rosharon.
It's a 4A school. So
yeah,
I don't see it getting big. But I knew it was a newer school. I just couldn't remember exactly. And you're the man on the scene from Houston, so I was just wanting to make sure.
I looked it up. It's actually a Fort Bend ISD school. So, and that's been an area
Holy
that
moly,
just,
that's
you
the
know,
other side of then that would be
yeah, that's
you know what?
59 and
That's Alvin Mosley. Then now it makes sense. If Alvin Mosley is supposed to go to Fort Bend Marshall, then it makes perfect sense that he would be here. Because
right.
that's a kid
So,
that's a kid that looks like a Fort Bend Marshall kid to me.
And the other thing is, you know, thrower, depending on what you get kid to kid, they can have short highlights, they can have long highlights. Throwers are just a couple minutes. We know how good he is. Mosley's is 8 minutes long. Like, this thing is still running. We've been having this going for a while. And you
He's
just
clearly their best player, but they've
he's the best player, and
game.
they continue to go to him. I will say a small tidbit on Mosley, because I like to compare his tape. Like, he looks like Dez Bryant to me as far as build. Like, he just has to learn the nuances. I know it, Justin. I know him. I got it. Hey, he looks like.
Hey, at least you didn't call Anthony Hill
physical.
Jr. Kenneth Murray.
But I will say, the guy that Mosley works with, and we all give him a shout out, is Deshae Milburn, who trains a couple of Texas receivers in the offseason, is going to get Mosley right. So, like you talked about getting the route running nuances down, I think he's going to get that before his senior year is up. And so, I think, man, he has a high ceiling, but just athletic freak. He's one of just guys, like, give him the ball. He's just bigger and better than everybody else.
Yeah,
is this Sugarland? I'm about to look it up.
You.
I'm about to look this up on a map to see where exactly it is.
You're the Houstonian, so I'm struggling to have this answer. I handle East Texas. Coach Dub handles the DFW. You're the man with the plan from Bel Air.
All right, let's see. Come on, Google. It is Fort Bend ISD. Where is this? Come on. Hey, at least I got the highlights still running. You can play that all day. Man, this is deep. Okay, so it is basically like just west. It's just west of Manville. So it's in an area off of 280. It's on, like, Manville is on the east side of 288, and then Crawford and its area is on the west side of 288. So, I mean, that's been an area that's been growing for a long, long time. Before we keep going, talk about two more prospects. Also get your questions in here. Got to talk about Roback. Go to roback.com. Use the code TX20. 20% off for all new orders. RHOBACK.com. The best Texas gear, officially licensed Texas gear. So you can get your burnt orange. You can get non-Texas gear. Get some joggers, get some sweatshirts, get some t-shirts, get some hats. Bunch of great stuff over at Roback. Code is TX20. 20% off for all new customers at RHOBACK.com. And as I was saying that, his minute package of DB tape popped up. And I'm like, ooh, do I want to keep watching this? Do I want to keep watching this? But we got to move on. We got to go into the trenches at this point. Talk a little bit about Peyton Miller. And this is a very, very versatile prospect from Anna. Coach, we've got not only a spring visit lined up for him to see a spring practice, but also an official visit to track as well. And this is someone that is getting courted by programs not only across the state, Texas Tech involved, but across the country too.
Yeah, definitely. I think he came on the scene as a sophomore at Anna. I think, at that, school like Anna, you kind of play early because they're not that big. I know they're growing now, but man, Miller, first time I ever seen him, I was like, man, who is this kid? And how did he get to Anna, Texas, right? Out of nowhere.
At first?
It was Prosper. Then he kind of just moved up further up 75 there. But yeah, man, just the first time I laid eyes on him, man, he's a baller, right? And I knew at the time he had like an Oklahoma offer. Then he just continued to grow. More schools got interested. I mean, I saw him I first saw him, he played tackle, right? But he's kind of that interior center guy, and he's embraced that role too. I know him and Coach Calfla, as you mentioned a number of times, Justin, that they've talked about him playing center. And he's embraced that role. Like, hey, I can be the leader of the offensive line. I can call, the shots up here and get everybody else lined up right and where to go. He's embraced that. You see some tape of him playing center now, but he's kind of built like that center, right? And he can play in a pinch. He can play guard. Like, he can do it all. I mean, he's not your typical center size, though. He's close to 6'5". When I saw him at the Under Armour in Orlando, I was like, man, this kid is bigger than I remember, right? He looks close to 6'5", but I love Peyton Miller. I love his tape. I love his demeanor, man. He wants to destroy people, but he's agile. He's flexible. He's not your typical center that we're used to seeing at Texas, I'll tell you that.
Justin, you just caught up with him, and he's a multi-sport athlete, and one of those other sports is wrestling, which is growing in the UIL. Just competed, I think, in the heavyweight division, of course, which I think is like 220 and up in Texas, but I can't remember for certain. Either way, someone who is not afraid to get mean in a sport that requires you to be mean.
Yeah. So again, Peyton Miller, absolute love this kid. Thankful for him and his family, help me out with the story. This kid, if you ask any O-line coach in America, what's this other sport you would like your offensive lineman to play? 100% would tell you wrestling. And it really is the best thing for trench warfare. When you see a kid do that, it's even better. I learned a little bit more. He was in the heavyweight division, and crazy enough, he had to lose weight, and he wasn't able to eat his normal amount to make weight. And he finished fourth. He had a good day in the I think the quarterfinals, and wound up losing and finishing fourth. But the best thing, his favorite part, was he gets to eat again. So he gets to get. I think he wants to add up about 15 to 20 more pounds, get back where he was. And so, just a fantastic kid. I feel like he really identifies with Texas. I feel like there's a match there. I feel like Texas Tech is the top competition, and they're only the top competition because they've been relevant in the last year or so, and they're doing so well with Joey and those guys in Lubbock. I think this is Texas recruitment to lose, but they've got to finish it off. But I'll say this. I've always thought Texas was in a pretty good spot, and then when he got out of junior day, it just felt different. It felt like they answered the questions that he got the answers he wanted. And so I think at the end of the day, this kid's going to Texas.
I looked it up. The UIL, the heavyweight class is 220 to 285. So this is someone
285.
Yep. So this is someone who is going to play at 310, 315.
Yes.
Who's been forced to stay under technically 287 since the beginning of last month. So
and for the health nuts, his mother's a registered nurse. He's good.
Yeah, they're going to know what to feed him this spring.
Mama knows.
I bet when he shows up at maybe some of these spring camps, which those are coming up soon, and then of course the June camps, if he even has to camp, you're going to see him get some measurements at like, oh yeah, he's 295, and be like, nothing to worry about at all there.
That kid will not camp again. He better not camp. That kid does not need to camp.
I'm tired of talking about offensive linemen's weight. They're going to eat. They're going to grow. Last guy to talk about is one we posted, I believe, last night, and that is Waco Midway running back Lathan Wisenton. He's set to take an official visit to Texas from a great program there in it is Midway ISD now that I think of it. Doing a lot on the screen, as you can tell. Texas has a lot of running back offers as Javar Jaluk is establishing himself here in the 2027 class. And Charlie, this is someone who looks very, very at home being near the top of Texas board.
Yeah, look, definitely. Texas has some success recruiting Waco, especially here lately. But, man, when I watch this kid's film, like, he kind of reminded me of who they just got from the portal and Hollywood Smothers. Like, he's not as small as you think, but he's not a big guy. But he can run through tackles. But, man, he finds a crease. He hits the hole. Strike up the band. Like, it's over. And this kid's a wonderful, wonderful talent. I think he can catch out the backfield. You can run it wide zone with him, off tackle, things like that. I mean, he may run power. I don't think he's in between a tackle runner a lot of times, but you see him on kickoff. He can do a lot of things. You just want the ball in his hands, and you find a way to get the ball in his hands. I think that's perfect. And so, Texas has had a thing of recruiting two running back. You compare him up with somebody else, I think you got something special, but he's dynamic, explosive. You see he kind of hit the edge there, and like people got angles on him, but they can't catch him. And I know in that division, there's a lot of kids who can run in Central Texas area. So if he's out running people there, man, it says something.
He reminds me of a Longview High School running back.
Ooh.
That's what he looks like. He looks like that's what running backs at Longview look like. Like he is that guy. Like he has another gear. And I think it's outside zone for this kid. I think that will be his bread and butter. And just understand, Texas, they're in a great spot today, and Jaluk had to do a lot of work to put him in that spot. I don't want to say they were behind last year, but I don't think Chad Scott was really prioritizing him at the time for different reasons. Once Jaluk came on, he's been there to school. He's been to see him already. Wisenton's already been back on campus once. He'll be likely back again before his OV. Don't be shocked if he shows up for a scrimmage. They're battling some guys, though. Look, Notre Dame is on the hunt. They like this kid. And when Notre Dame comes to the state of Texas for running backs, they usually leave with a couple. So you got to watch them. It's almost like Oregon. If you're not paying attention, Oregon will come in this region and take your talent, take your trap. And so at the end of the day, Wissington wants to have a decision in early July. I could see him making a decision right after the OVs. As soon as he's done, I can see him doing that. And again, who's the top competition? I think it's going to be Texas Tech, who gets the last OV on the 19th through the 21st.
I've got a comp, and some of it's from looking at his huddle, some of it's from looking at what he's doing on the plays, and some of it's the breakaway speed. And I don't know if it's exactly right because of the speed factor, but I'm going to throw it out anyway. Y'all remember Kamar Wheaton out of Lakeview Centennial?
Yes. Lakeview Centennial. Lakeview Centennial.
And
he's
I remember
got more
there was
muscle
some
than Kamar, but Kamar was faster.
Okay.
He was fast.
Right.
Kamar was like 10-3.
My only thing is I remember there were hesitations about Wheaton. It's like, well, all he's doing is, running through one
Leaving
hole
people.
and running away from people, which is good. Like
He was good
a
at that.
Right. That's
If
a
he was in
positive
the right
attribute.
situation,
You see that.
Joe, I think Kamar Wheaton is an NFL running back right now.
Right.
Tell me I'm
I
wrong,
just see
Clark.
a lot of I mean, how is that close? Approximate, maybe?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Kamar could fly, man. Kamar was
Right.
like Marquise Goodwin when he ran. Man.
Yeah.
And
No,
this
no.
kid can take a hit. This kid's
He
going to
doesn't
bounce
doubt.
off guys. Kamar would go down with a big breeze. And with a stiff breeze, you could get Kamar down. Wissington does not. The first guy never gets him down. I don't know if you've noticed that with each one of these clips. It's not happening. And I think it's that power, that low
I'm trying to
center of
see if I
gravity. You know what I see? I see what Ricky Stewart should have been, is what I see there.
I can see that.
Old school.
I'm
Late
trying to
C
see
Strump.
if there's a track.
Eddie, who'd you say?
I'm trying to see if there's a
Late
track
C
time.
Strump.
Yeah.
At
Dude,
least
Kamar
right
Wheaton-
now they have him running. They have him running on the relay team, but he's running
And I
anchor.
think they set the
on a
school
team
record in the
that's been-
first meet.
Right, and they're running under 42 right now, and he does the shot put.
Sheesh.
Yes.
Yeah, they got a running back doing the shot put right now, so that says a little bit about his athleticism. Got one good question from Utah Horn. I'm not sure if we'll be able to hit a top 5, and maybe
Let's
one
do it
apiece at
rapid
this
fire.
juncture. All right,
Rapid
let's
fire.
see. Let's see if we can put together
go
5
back
right
and
here
forth.
between y'all two.
Yeah,
We'll go
let's
back
do
and
it.
forth.
You take offensive lineman, I'll take one. I'll take Brian Swanson.
I'll take Ishmael Kamara.
Oh man. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Now I'm stumped.
Now we go. Now we need 2 wide receivers to finish out this class. You get
All
one,
right.
I get one.
I'm gonna go Bryson Thrower.
I'm gonna go Trey Moore. If this is, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Let the local stay.
Yeah.
And I'll
go ahead.
I'll
right,
say Easton Royal. That's what you got to do too.
Hey.
100%. Don't take him for granted. 100%. And I love how Texas is treating it exactly like that.
And we went all in offense there, right?
Yeah.
We
Well,
can
I
do
mean,
it next week. Next week, Utah Horn come see us. We'll do defense rapid fire.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Go to InsideTexas.com. Use that QR code at the top left. Go ahead and use the first link in the description of this video. All the recruiting scoop. Got a ton more going on over on Inside Texas. So come make sure you check it out. Charlie, Justin, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. See you next time on Recruiting Intel, the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.